In this module, we'll cover obtaining and installing Python on your system for Windows, Ubuntu Linux, and Mac OS X. We'll write some basic Python code and become acquainted with the essentials of Python programming culture, such as the Zen of Python, although never forgetting the origins of the name of the language. There are two major versions of the Python language: Python 2, which is the widely deployed legacy language, and Python 3, which is the present and future of the language. Most Python code will work without modification between the last version of Python 2, which is Python 2.7, and recent versions of Python 3, such as Python 3.3. However, there are some key differences, and in a strict sense the languages are incompatible. We'll be using Python 3.3 for this course, but we'll point out key differences with Python 2 as we go. It's also very likely that, this being a fundamentals course, everything we present will apply to future versions of Python 3, so don't be afraid to try those as they become available. Before we can start programming in Python, we need to get hold of a Python environment. Python is a highly portable language available on all major operating systems. You will be able to complete this course on Windows, Mac or Linux, and the only major section where we diverge into platform specifics is coming right up, as we install Python 3. As we cover the three platforms, feel free to skip over the sections which aren't relevant for you. Now we'll demonstrate how to install Python 3 on Windows. For Windows, you'll need to visit the official Python website at python.org. and then head to the download page by clicking on the link to the left. For Windows, you should choose one of the MSI installers, depending on whether you're running on a 32 or 64-bit platform. Download and run the installer. In the installer, decide whether you want to install Python only for yourself or for all users. And choose a location for the Python distribution. The defaults will be in Python 3.3 in the root of the C drive. We don't recommend installing Python into program files because the virtualized file store used to isolate applications from each other in Windows Vista and above can interfere with easily installing third-party Python packages. On the Customize Python page of the wizard, we recommend keeping the defaults, which use less than 40 megabytes of space. In addition to installing the Python runtime and standard library, the installer will register various file types, such as py files, with the Python interpreter. Once Python has been installed, you'll need to add Python to your system path environment variable. To do this, from the control panel, choose System and Security, and then System. Using the task pane on the left, choose Advanced System Settings to open the Advanced tab of the System Properties dialog. Click Environment Variables to open the Child dialog. If you have administrator privileges, you should be able to add the paths Python 3.3 and Python 3.3 scripts to the semicolon separated list of entries associated with the path system variable. If not, you should be able to create or append to a path variable specific to your user containing the same value. Click OK once, twice, and 3 times to exit the dialogs. Now open a new console window. Either PowerShell or CMD will work fine, and verify that you can run Python from the command line. Welcome to Python. The triple arrow prompt shows you that Python is waiting for your input. At this point, you might want to skip forward while we show you how to install Python on Linux and Mac. Now we'll demonstrate how to install Python 3 on Ubuntu Linux. To install Python on Linux, you'll want to use your system's package manager. For this course, we'll show how to install Python on a recent version of Ubuntu, but the process is very similar on most other modern Linux distributions. On Ubuntu, first start the Ubuntu Software Center. This can usually be run by clicking its icon in the launcher. Alternatively, you can run it from the dashboard by searching on Ubuntu Software Center and clicking the selection. Once you're in the Software Center, enter the search term Python 3.3 in the search bar in the upper right hand corner and press return. One of the results you get will say Python v 3.3 with Python Interpreter 3.3 in smaller type beneath it. Select this entry and click the Install button that appears. You may need to enter your password to install the software at this point. You should now see a progress indicator appear, which will disappear when the installation is complete. Open a terminal using Ctrl-Alt-T and verify that you can run Python 3.3 from the command line. Welcome to Python. The triple arrow prompt shows that Python is waiting for your input. Now we'll demonstrate how to install Python 3 on macOS 10. For macOS 10, you need to visit the official Python website at python.org. Head to the download page by clicking the link on the left. On the download page, find the macOS 10 installer matching your version of macOS 10 and click the link to download it. A DMG disk image file downloads, which you open from your download stack or from the Finder. In the Finder window that opens, you will see the file python.mpkg, a multi-package installer file. Use the secondary click action to open the context menu for that file. From that menu, select Open. On some versions of macOS 10, you'll now be told that the file is from an unidentified developer. Press the Open button on this dialog to continue with the installation. You are now in the Python installer program. Follow the directions, clicking through the wizard. There's no need to customize the install, and you should keep the standard settings. When it's available, click the Install button to install Python. You may be asked for your password to authorize the installation. Once the installation completes, click Close to close the installer. Now that Python 3 is installed, open a terminal window and verify that you can run Python 3 from the command line. Welcome to Python. The triple arrow prompt shows that Python is waiting for your input.